Alex, well, obviously I can't talk to classified programs, but I will just say that if the president so chooses to make some of these programs unclassified, reveal them to the public, I think the American people are going to be pleasantly surprised and very proud of their country. And I'll just leave it at that.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
All right. I want to get Jack Posobiec's take on the Space Force. And I know he's a smart, well-read guy, naval intelligence, you name it, investigative journalist. But, I mean, I know what's going on with Space Force. And I did a 20-minute video, live video last night on it, the secrets of Trump's Space Force. The truth is, there's been a Space Force since the 60s. NASA is just a cutout for U.S. military operations in space. And just like the Navy's got aircraft and the Air Force has got aircraft and the Army's got aircraft and the Marines have aircraft, all these branches have space assets, whether it's satellites or other stuff. And they've got these non-nuclear, but they're SABO around orbiting platforms that they've got up in space. They've been placing them since the mid-70s in space. And there's a big need for a Space Force just to service these things and remove them and stuff like that. Usually they just fire them off into deep space when they become derelict, because you can't bring a depleted uranium platform with projectiles back into the atmosphere for reentry, because they don't break up, and they would heat up and get unhooked and then become the meteor gun they were designed to be. But the only reason I can talk about that is they accidentally declassified some of that in the 90s. Then I talked to one of the former heads of Star Wars. But that's a long story short. Trump said, we're going to unlock the secrets of the universe. There's been a lot of suppressed stuff. He said that in State of the Union. And so medical treatments that they know are near cures that have been suppressed, things like that for terminally ill people, then that'll allow testing on them for everybody else. They're volunteering. The left says you can commit suicide. You can abort your baby all day, but if you want to risk your life, oh, no, you can't. You can't, because they're anti-progress. They are the anti-progressives. So they had decided on an anti-post-human world. Elon Musk has warned about it. The post-human world. Post-human future. And Trump also said he wants to unlock the mysteries of space in that same speech. So he's just letting you know it's already there. And then to start rolling out some of the technologies and some of the things. And it's also a carrot to the military-industrial complex, which I'm totally for if it's done for peace process, because here's the deal. All this innovation we have came from space program and military programs. And if you got a good president and a good government that deploys it back to the people, we're already decades ahead of China, Russia, you name it. But not if we hold on to it. So he wants it deployed to the people and not put it into just wasteful, more aircraft carriers or more divisions of troops, but into stuff that really does things. And like Google satellites, those are really the geospatial, government satellites, deploying that back to Earth and absolutely taking our secret space program and boomeranging 50 years ahead of the Chi-Coms if we do it now. So Trump's only announcing, I love it, my idea for the Space Force. It's all a big joke with him, because a good joke in that he's been briefed on all this. He's been brought in. There are people that want a human future. This is about humans in space. And it's not going to get innovated with the fake 10% NASA, space rovers and stuff. China's moving into space. Others are moving in. Let's just be honest that we have space superiority. So they can be crushed, just like Reagan did with Star Wars. So superior. Obviously, they were offensive weapons. The Russians knew they had to give up. Okay, so I've given you the real deal. That's really what, and we'll get Posobiec's expert take on that. But it's about a human future. It's about a military budget that actually develops the new high-tech systems that are the civilian future. And not just these useless military things that just sit there and are only good for the defense contracting companies. So it's a very, very smart thing Trump's doing, in my view. I think Space Force is an excellent name for it. And I don't know if the Air Force is still going to have Space Command, because for those that don't know, Space Command really already is a separate brand and branch of government above the other 5 branches. I wouldn't really count the Coast Guard. They're great people, but that's more of a patrol thing. That's my research view on that. Jack Posobiec, what do you say?
Alex, well, obviously I can't talk to classified programs, but I will just say that if the president so chooses to make some of these programs unclassified, reveal them to the public, I think the American people are going to be pleasantly surprised and very proud of their country. And I'll just leave it at that. What this has to do on the, at least in the first aspects, you're absolutely right that all branches of our military have operations that touch space, whether that be satellite, even weather in some cases, GPS, other communication satellites, collections platforms, our intelligence forces obviously operate many satellites up there. All of those are in constant threat from Russia and China. And China and Russia have been operating space forces for years. The Russians started their space force in the 1990s. China started their space force a few years back. They're completely open about it and realizing that space in and of itself is a completely new field of warfare. And
it's a whole nother dimension. It's like the fourth dimension. We've got to be honest about it. Go ahead.
It's going to get to kinetic warfare. The Chinese have looked at this already. They've looked at laser warfare for taking out our satellites. They've looked in space from other
Well, let's just say it. They've already been using particle beams to destroy our satellites.
Destroy or disable, yes.
Go ahead. Keep going.
And they've demonstrated the capability of rocket shoot downs from surface launch missiles to go after space. So our own infrastructure, our own payloads that we're sending up into space, as well as everyone who uses communications or geopositional satellites here on Earth, it runs the risk of the Chinese or the Russians getting into this. So this is all about China and Russia, number one. And what it's also going to come to, the one thing that I think that you were just about to mention it, is materials extraction, mining, essentially, whether that's done on the moon, whether that's done on asteroids. People are looking at Mars. They're talking about the space ladder or space elevator. People realize that the mining that can be done out there because of rare earth elements and other rare elements, there's indications that these may be found in either the asteroid belt, passing comets, many different other locations in space that might even be easier to extract.
That's right. And humans will deploy to do research, but then we'll have big robot processing systems that go out and get these critical ores and bring them back. It's a total revolution of new elements.
And they need to be defended. Our assets need to be defended out there, not just from other companies, or excuse me, other countries, but potential other private interests that may go after them, that may attempt sabotage, corporate sabotage. There's all sorts of things that need to be opened up.
And since you raised that, because Musk wouldn't go along with the Soros takeover, I now have credible info. He is being sabotaged in the news, but also at their plants right now to make Musk roll over to him. That's a sad thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with Musk right now. Everybody wants a piece of him, and I think what's really happening is that Musk is saying, I just want to be myself. I want to be independent. I don't want anyone to own me. And he's realizing that there's so many people out there gunning for him. I hope that he does go back with Trump. I hope he does realize that Trump offers him a way forward to be independent, but also to be protected from some of these other people out there. But yes, you're absolutely right that if we want to expand in space, if we want to expand both as a people, maybe looking at colonization at some point, or even just for mining and other commercial operations, we're going to need defense platforms. We're going to be able to protect all of our investment, all of our interests that will come out in space.
Well, look, space is the final frontier, and we already dominated it. And so why quit playing games? I mean, it's time to be honest, like the president said he'd do, and he's doing that, and go, okay, we're not really paying $2 billion for each of these fighters, or $3 billion. It went into this. Here, let me show you what we had in operation in the 80s. You know, here's the big V-wings, here's all this, and then the Chinese and the Russians and everybody else will just know that there's such superiority that it just...
A lot of this is where the UFO stuff came from. A lot of this was these experimental planes that were being tested here on Earth.
Absolutely. And so the word is Trump's going to start releasing a lot of stuff. Is that the word you've heard?
I've heard that as well. But he had always heard about it, and now as he's become president, he wants to explain to people that this work has been going on out there. And as I've said, the American people are going to be very, very proud of their country when they see that what the best and brightest have been doing, at least in quiet.
Wow. So you agree with my analysis of Space Force then?
I think Space Force is something that's been long in the works, and it's been long necessary. I don't know why we play games about it. It's clearly out there. The other countries obviously know we have it. It's time for the American people to know what exactly.
Well, you know the real reason. It's the death toll so high with the volunteers. That's why they've kept it secret. Word is thousands have died in the secret space program. Jack Posobiec, thank you so much. God bless you. Final segment straight ahead before Paul Watson takes over with critical news on the end of the internet.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Staying healthy on the go is just as important as staying healthy at home. But sometimes supplements don't work fast enough. That's why InfoWars Life has created a powerful new addition to the Super Blue line, Super Blue Silver Immune Gargle. Available in 1 ounce, 3.5 ounce, and 16 ounce bottles, Immune Gargle is perfect for the bathroom, kitchen, or wherever you go. The incredible new purifying formula is dentist recommended for daily use whenever you feel like you need to stay clean. As a powerful hand purifier or oral cleansing formula, just a small spray will help you stay clean when you feel surrounded by toxins. With powerful yet simple ingredients, Immune Gargle features Silver Sol Nano Silver for a powerful cleansing alternative. With Super Blue Silver Immune Gargle, staying toxin-free is easy and affordable. Help stop the spread of toxins and stay healthy with Super Blue Silver Immune Gargle. Only available at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.